Hey guys, I just wanted to say thank you for using my creator code whenever you purchase any Sims 4 DLC on the EA app or thesims.com. I receive a 5% commission each time you use my code, which means you're directly supporting me as a creator. I know there are a lot of codes floating around out there, so I am very grateful that you've chosen me to support in this way. Thank you so much. Hey guys, it is MissSimReno. If you are returning to the channel, welcome back. And if you're brand new, I am very excited that you decided to join me here today for another apartment renovation. I know if you are watching this, you've probably seen a lot of apartment renovations kind of back to back. I'm trying to spread them out a little bit more, but also please note that this is a pre-recorded build because if you're seeing it, it means that I am on maternity leave. Yes, it means I've had my baby and I've decided to take some time away to get to know them and adjust to parenthood. And I recorded a ton of videos for you all while I am away on maternity leave. I don't know how long I'm going to be away. You likely will see some newer recorded content kind of scattered in between the pre-recorded videos. It's really, really hard to plan this far out in advance, but I am doing my best. However, we are renovating an apartment today, Pinecrest Apartments. I think it's 40... Is it 402? Is that what it is? I think it's Pinecrest Apartments 402. I can barely see it in my recording software, but it is one of the apartments in Evergreen Harbor. And I don't know what I'm going to call this. At the time of me recording this, I feel like I'm going to call it like a relaxing apartment, just because it's very chill. Like, I don't know, it's a lot of like soft tones like in the woods, and then the other colors that I chose, it almost has a boho feel, but not quite. I don't think I can really label it that. But it also has some Scandinavian elements because I used some furniture pieces from Businesses and Hobbies, specifically the chairs that I use in the dining room and the kitchen. But yeah, I don't know. It's just a very like soft apartment. I was thinking that it was actually just for a single sim that maybe they just started out in their career, whatever it is. I don't know. Maybe they do something where they just work from home. Though I say that and I didn't give them, I don't think I gave them like a laptop or a computer or anything. So I'm not quite sure what they do for work, but I was thinking that a relatively young adult lived in this apartment, and that even though they're not necessarily a minimalist, they decided to go, I'd say, fairly minimal with how they decorated their apartment. And I don't know, things are just very relaxing and soft. So I think that's probably what I'll end up naming this, but I don't know. If you can come up with something better, definitely let me know. But we just finished up the living room, which I don't think I've done this floor plan, by the way. I've tried a few different floor plans in these apartments. And of course, if you were unaware, these apartments came with Eco Lifestyle in the world of Evergreen Harbor. And when you enact the neighborhood action plans, these apartments can change. So even though you can place windows, like you can customize and place windows where you want them, which is what I did, if you enact a neighborhood action plan and it becomes the more modern neighborhood, the windows that you place will no longer be there, or they're gonna overlap with the windows that end up showing up at the apartments. Do you know what I mean? We can freely place windows, but if you were to have the neighborhood change, those windows are automatically going to change anyway and update. It would be a little bit odd, so I was hesitant to custom place windows here. I was going to just leave the ones that were here by default, but I ended up just doing the custom ones anyway. But yeah, this came with Eco Lifestyle, if you're wondering. I don't know why I felt the need to explain that in this video, but we are now cluttering up the kitchen. I did use these countertops from Snowy Escape because the wood tones worked with everything else that I had going on. And since we, at the time we were recording this, just got the kitchen clutter kit, I decided to use a ton of those items to actually fill these shelves, which was perfect. It was the perfect opportunity to do that. I added a ton of different things under here. I wanted it to look as though this was a very lived-in apartment, but this clutter, it's kind of perfect because it doesn't look like you're over-cluttering these shelves or the space, which I really, really, really liked. And I think this kitchen sink, as odd as it might sound, is probably one of my favorite kitchen sinks now because there's like plates and a mug and utensils in there and everything, because who the heck always has an empty sink? If you do, don't tell me, okay? Because I do not always have an empty sink. I try my darndest to have an empty sink. I try to load and unload the dishwasher every day, but there are days where, you know what, your girl is lazy. Yeah, she gets real lazy sometimes, and she doesn't want to do it. Now, here are the only windows that I did have to add using the tool mod. So when you do download this apartment, those windows will not be there, which is unfortunate, which means that there will be no windows technically in this bedroom. I'm aware of this. I am, so I apologize if you're interested in this apartment. That's kind of a deal breaker for you, but I like adding windows to that space so I have more flexibility in floor plans. And yeah, you have to use the tool mod, which I understand is only available to PC players. Console players cannot use mods, which is a bummer. And that's how I ended up adding those windows there. But like I said, it's just for a single sim. So though there is a double bed, it is pushed up against the wall. You could use the scoot feature if you wanted to have more than one sim in this apartment, but the bedroom is really tiny. I just have one of the dressers from the Tiny Living stuff pack. And then I quickly decorate the hallway. I think I add a bookcase from Snowy Escape. And then I decorate the entryway as well with like a console table and a couple of decorative items. Nothing too exciting. And then we end up working on the one and only full bathroom, which, you know what, you guessed it, it has all the things your Sims need. It's got a shower tub combo, it's got a toilet, it's got a sink. Functional bathroom. Yay, we did it. And I of course added the burglar alarm, which I try my best to add to every single build now that we have burglars in base game, which I'm kind of curious. I've mentioned this a few times in some of my pre-recorded builds, just about the burglar alarm itself, but now that we have burglars, do you all actually play with them? Because when I'm recording an LP, I'll turn them off because I don't want that. I learned my lesson because I was recording something recently and yeah, got burgled and I was upset. But yeah, I'm curious to know if you actually play with the burglars now that we have them, because people were waiting for those for a very long time in The Sims 4. But yeah, we're almost done decorating the bathroom here, and then that's pretty much going to be it for this apartment renovation. It's a very quick one, so I hope you all enjoyed this one. I cannot wait to hear your thoughts, and I will catch you next time I post a video, and I will talk to you soon. Bye!
Yeah, I trace them